The VLE site was put together to support our dissertation students, dissertation being a very important part of undergraduate history. The reason for doing it was quite straightforward. The students were doing lots of different activities. They had lectures, they had tutorials, they had workshops. But all of these things seemed quite disparate and disconnected. There was no kind of module booklet pulling it together. And in the circumstances, it seemed that VLE could do that. It could make sense of everything. And the other important thing about the VLE was that it was accessible to students anytime, any place, anywhere. And the nature of historical research could mean that some of our students are in the US, some of our students are in France, some are down in London at the National Archives. As long as they can have an internet connection, they can access advice and help from the department that targets particular issues that they may be encountering at that moment. The dissertation site was set up so you had a kind of welcome page, which is the announcements page, followed by an introduction which outlined the course. One of the things I liked about that was a handy outline week by week on that page what was going on, and then we mirrored that in the structure of the site, so you then had separate pages for each week with a task list at the top, so the students knew what they were expected to do that week. Again, making sense of all the activity that was going on. It was just there in a handy list with further details below.
By having a step-by-step guide of how you should approach the question, I was able to take my general theme. I was able to look at a question within that theme, how feasible that question would be to study, the resources available to study it, who is there to support the study, and so on and so forth. It guided you through. It was a general framework and guide for going from idea to dissertation question. It broke it down every week and it said this is what you need to do from week to week in order to approach this dissertation as any serious academic would.
The quality of the projects that are coming through has improved. And people are designing more realistic projects within a timetable. They have a clearer sense of them being driven by a research question. They're better presented, and the most important thing we've noticed is a change in the range of marks. And now most people will be scoring 2-1 and above, but the bottom part of their range is in the 2-2 bracket. It's very rare now, incredibly rare, for anyone to get below a 2-2. And we're also seeing at the top end of the range students breaking into the high 70s and normally about 3 or 4 every year getting into the 80s and above, which is very, it's quite surprising in a history degree.